Hello, I'm Tom, the Sports Explorer. Every week I'm telling the story of our world through sport and adventure. And this week I'm going to show you how to hike to the famous Hatta Sign in Hatta. Don't forget to subscribe. Now, I'm showing you how to hike to the big famous Hatta Sign in Hatta because it's not actually clearly marked on the Hatta Trails map. It is there as Wa'il, not as the Hatta Sign. So in this video, I will show you step by step how you get to this very famous UAE landmark. The trails for the Hatta Mountains all begin within Hatta Wadi Hub, just behind the main complex. The start point is signposted and it's just next to the Cannon Experience. You'll then walk through Hatta Wadi Hub and all of the experiences it has to offer. And then you'll start to tackle the mountains properly. As you leave Wadi Hub and set off into the mountains, there is one final big map that you can just check and make sure you know the route that you are taking. And what I like to do as well is just take a picture of that map so you have a copy of all of the routes at hand when you're hiking away. Make sure you bring plenty of water on this hike. You'll need it as it starts to get hotter and hotter ahead of the summer in the UAE, so don't leave yourself short. Right then, coffee had, blue skies and mountains to climb. The beginning to the trails in Hatta, it's like being in a jungle. So, on our quest to get to the Hatta Sign, you'll start on the Green 1 path until you reach the Reem signpost. And then from here, you need to stay left and follow the sign to Thamaam, which is another 0.2 kilometers away. It is worth pointing out that here in Hatta there are two sets of trails, the hiking trails and the cycling trails. So just make sure when you're looking at the maps and working out your route that you are looking at the actual hiking trail maps. In fact, on the early stages of this hike, you will come across one of the cycling tracks, the Green 3 cycling track. Just make sure that you're not confused and think that's a hiking track. It does say Hubbers on it, which does mean it is one of the cycling tracks. So just ignore those signposts and continue on the hiking trails. We have reached the Thamaam signpost. Here it is. Now here, you have a couple of options. You can either head to the right towards the next signpost / waypoint, which is Jeddah, or you can head towards the left to reach the Jeddah signpost as well. The difference is if you head right, which is the Green 4 hiking trail, you're actually essentially walking along the wadi and it's less marked. If you head left, you're walking along a proper path on the Green 3 hiking trail. Which one shall we take? Oh, let's be a little adventurous, shall we? Let's walk along the wadi. So even though this Green 4 route is a little less marked, it's still fairly easy to navigate because all you do is follow the wadi along, and there are some green markings around, but they are a little tricky to see. But if you just follow the wadi along, eventually you'll come to the Jeddah waypoint. You know what you should always do on a hike? As much as you're looking forward, as you're hiking uphill, don't forget to look behind you. Often, stunning views. And we have reached the Jeddah signpost. Good, and that marks the end of the green trails. We're moving on to blue trails now as we start to head uphill because it's been pretty flat so far. Now, the Jeddah signpost at the time of filming has seen better days. A couple of the signposts are on the floor there, but don't worry about that. All you need to know is head right towards Qatar. When you reach the Hatta Sign, you continue to the right and the next waypoint is Dhabi, and we are now officially heading uphill towards the Hatta Sign. As you head towards the Dhabi signpost, there is a V in the tracks. Just make sure you stay on the right. Just before you get to the Dhabi sign, it's an amazing example of a wadi, dried up riverbed. Look at this, you can really see where the flow of water once was. Just before you get to the Dhabi waymark, you do cross that dried up riverbed, the wadi, and then there's just a few more blue markings that you follow, and then you do get to the Dhabi signpost. After that, it's a steep climb to the top. So here we are at the Dhabi signpost. It is the final waypoint on the way up the mountain before we reach the famous Hatta Sign, which of course, as I mentioned earlier, is marked on the maps and the signpost as Wa'il. So, only one thing left to do, isn't there? So of course, many people when they hear the word Dubai think luxury, don't they? 5-star resorts, beaches, swimming pools, brunches. And whilst that's all great, we also shouldn't forget that Hatta, where we are now, is also in the Emirate of Dubai. And look, it's full of mountains. The mountains in Hatta are essentially the foothills of the epic Hajar Mountains. And Hatta really is Dubai's adventure playground. And it's not just hiking that you can enjoy in Hatta. There are so many adventures that you can dive into. You can go kayaking at Hatta Kayak. You can get the adrenaline flowing by mountain biking through these very mountains. You can even try downhill karting and a load of other activities at Hatta Wadi Hub. I'll put all the links to the video guides in the description below so you can become a sports explorer in Hatta as well. So this final stretch is the steepest part of the hike, but you'll just follow the path as it winds up to the top, following the blue markings. It will be a stretch that gets the legs working, but that's what makes it all the more rewarding, doesn't it? Almost at the top. Whew. The path has flattened out, which tells me we're at the top. And there it is. There is the Hatta Sign. That's a big T. That was my nickname at school. So there you go, that is how you hike to the Hatta Sign in the mountain town of Hatta. It's a really good hike to do actually. It'll take you around about an hour and a half or 2 hours. It's pretty straightforward. There's a bit of a steep stretch at the end, but it's not too bad. If you've got a good base level of fitness, you will be fine. But once you get up here, it's well worth it and very rewarding. And it is time to head back down the mountain. It's the same way down as it is up, so just take your time heading down and follow the signposts in the opposite direction. You can, of course, get a refreshing drink once you're back at Hatta Wadi Hub. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this hike to the Hatta Sign when you do it. It's a really good one and well worth your time and effort as well. And I hope you found the video useful too. Don't forget to subscribe as I explore our world through sport and adventure. And I'll see you on another adventure soon.